clubs are now working a bit more with content creators and influencers to engage with fans. How do you see those relationships evolving in the future to have, people like yourself involved more and more at clubs?
You have noticed a swing where clubs are involving content creators and wanting them to showcase their football club because fans are wanting that content and they know it's an
Yeah.
avenue that people are wanting to watch.
As a creator, what have you seen, you think that, or what have you learned really about what really makes fans feel valued and represented in content?
As a product, they want to see what football really is about, and it's that passion and that escapism, a football match, and absolutely everything is involved. I've covered a couple of Premier League games, compare it to the EFL and the National League, and that comparison is so different. I just feel like I'm a number. Fans don't want to feel like that.
Welcome to Football Business TV, where the game gets down to business. I'm delighted to be joined today by Lee Pearson for a very special edition of Let's Get Engaged. Lee is modest, but is a multi-award winning content creator and founder of Around the Grounds. Lee, how are we?
I'm good, mate. Yeah, that's some intro, mate. Thank you very much for that. Multi-award
You've got
winning.
to live up to now.
My head's getting bigger.
No, good stuff. I was watching some of your stuff before we came on just to get a bit of a feel for what you do, and it's just the kind of thing that I really enjoy watching. So really good to have you involved. Well, as I said off camera, we'll jump straight in and try and keep it nice and punchy because that's the kind of stuff that you produce anyway. So I think that's pretty on brand. You've become a pretty trusted voice now in terms of fan related content, and the awards definitely signal that as well. When you first started, though, was it a hobby? Was it, did you see it as a creative outlet for yourself, or did you have like a dream that it would turn into something bigger around fan engagement?
No, I definitely didn't see. Well, I didn't foresee what I was going to be like. Obviously, I'm 15,000 subscribers now. Like you said, won awards. Did not even. I didn't even set it up to do that. I just set it up to document my journey of ground hopping and just to watch back and yeah, just piece together because I enjoy watching other channels. I think one um, guy that I really watched was called Footy Adventures, Sam, who covers a lot of stuff in Scotland. He was probably the main reason I set up my channel because I liked his style. And obviously, football is everything to me, and just going to games, and it was just nice to watch back. And then it sort of gathered momentum, and people liked my style of content because you'll notice I'll start my video, obviously build it up with both teams, and what I like to do is cover both teams and give both sets of fans the opportunity, whether it's even obviously if I cover Sheffield Wednesday, I always try and cover that team and give their fan an opportunity to speak about their club. So I'll do that, and then you'll not see me till after the game because the main reason I wanted to set the channel up is to showcase football fans and what's so amazing about football fans, and I think that's what people enjoy, and they can see that I'm just a proper football fan and I'm absolutely passionate about football in general.
Yeah, that absolutely comes across in talking to you as well. Was there a moment for you when you realised that people weren't necessarily just flicking through and watching your content, but they were actually engaging with it, and you were connecting the experience, I guess, that you were capturing?
Yeah, because obviously I'm not a confident guy. I never have been. Obviously, going through school is like to put a camera in my face. I still have to be wary of where I am now because it's not something I'm natural with being in front
Yeah.
of a camera. You'll know yourself. It's quite daunting being on
Mm.
camera. Just a nervous guy, but yeah, it's the first sort of like obviously I share it on X and Instagram and like fans will then comment and engage on it and then share it. It sends that's a wicked video and whatnot, and that gives me like just makes me feel proud that they're engaged. Just watching the content makes me feel like wow, people are taking time to watch my videos that I've put together, and I think that's what's amazing about it.
Yeah, I think that's what it is when you start to get that justification of, oh, the thing that I love to do is actually affecting other people, and they enjoy it as well, is a huge thing. Football's a game of opinions. We know that. We've both been around the game for a long time, and everybody's got one. But now it's more dominated by algorithms and what various social platforms pick up in terms of what they deem fit to promote or whatever. How do you think that you've created out this style that stays really authentic and I guess a bit different to viewers? Because a lot of the stuff that you see now is very manufactured, right? But your stuff is really authentic.
Yeah, because I wanted to strip it back to what I enjoy to watch, and what I grew up as a football fan. Obviously, you'll notice I'll not cover many Premier League games because I think that product to me is not for the football fan. So I'll cover like your Championship down to your National League and non-league, and that product for me is still what I enjoy. And you see fans going with their families and friends, and yeah, I wanted to make it about the fans, and showcase them as a fan base. And what's nice is you go to different clubs, and you'll hear about, oh, this sets of fans that are brilliant, and you'll learn about a club like Oldham Athletic. The journey I went on with them guys last year was quite incredible. Obviously, National League, covered every playoff game, and struck struck up quite a friendship with a lot of their fans. And I was there at every game, and at Wembley, and just to see what it meant to that fan base to obviously get promoted. And at that full time whistle, I just looked around in awe, just like seeing the emotion and happiness in people's faces that the football teams not only won, but that moment will be with them till the day they die. And that's what I wanted to. Obviously, I get quite emotional speaking about it because it's absolutely everything to me. Just, and people still watch that back now, and I get comments now still pop up that they're still watching that content back because it
Yeah.
takes them back to that moment, and that's what it's all about for me.
Yeah, I agree. We've had a few conversations over the last few weeks with various guests that do really important things, whether it's the Special Olympics or whether they run football clubs. And the one connecting thing is that they get really emotional about what they do. And football is an emotional sport. And, I always say to people that I genuinely think it can do things that nothing else can do. Whether it's
Yeah,
about uniting people, whether it's, you said, they'll remember this time and place forever. I don't think there are many things that can do what football can. How important, like looking at the Oldham journey, I guess, as a good shining example, how important is it or was it for you to kind of be authentic around clubs of lower leagues, and in some cases non-league clubs as you built the channel? Was that a deliberate focus for you?
yeah, it was because obviously Oldham have been obviously a Premier League club. They've had the financial issues, and obviously then got relegated to the National League. So you follow their journey, and obviously the first game that I covered for Oldham, it gave me that friendship that people were sort of engaging and enjoying that content, and they were asking me when my next game is, and stuff like that. And that's what's absolutely brilliant about it, because they want me at that game to capture them moments. And yeah, it's not about me being on camera. That's never my intention for this channel, as I've just mentioned. It's about football. Football fans go into their happy place, and you can have all the problems in the world when you're in a football ground. It's just takes you away. You'll know that yourself. And yeah, it's just I'll absolutely live for a Saturday, just like knowing
Yeah,
I'm at work all week, and it's like them fans. They'll look forward to that moment with their friends and families, whether they win, lose, or draw. That they're supporting the football team, and that's what's the beauty about the leagues and teams that I cover, because you still get that, and it's not touristy, and yeah, it's just that proper atmosphere.
Yeah, who doesn't love that 90 minutes of escapism on a Saturday,
Yeah,
right? It's the best feeling in the world. But I think we've seen over the last couple of years a real rise in content creators. I kind of avoid the term influencers because I think that kind of cheapens a little bit about what you do. You create good content, which is really important. What do you think are some of the most common mistakes that clubs make when it comes to engaging with their fans? Because we've seen a real shift in what fans will engage with, right? And I think that speaking to a lot of them and speaking to a lot of clubs, some of the fans feel that the clubs just want to sell to them. And
yeah.
in a way, I guess they do, right? It's, do you like this content? Great, go and buy a shirt, buy a ticket, buy a burger while you're there, whatever it might be, right? Um, what do you think some of the biggest mistakes are that clubs make when it comes to engagement?
I think they need to obviously. A lot of some clubs are really good with it, and they'll involve fans and they'll get content creators involved. But I think fans want to see these content creators and different angles because you obviously watch highlights and you'll see that yeah, it's just on the pitch mainly, but it's the passion in the stands, and I think they
Yeah,
need to involve it more where they're getting content creators involved, and yeah, just letting them not have a free role, but fans want to see content on YouTube because a lot of it will go to see over watching like say an EFL show or a match of the day because you get to see what you can't see on the TV.
yeah, yeah. No, I
And
agree. So
and that's what's absolutely fantastic about it because I watch other vloggers and you'll think, oh, that's absolutely amazing that obviously they've captured and had that moment. And that I've just touched on, it's having that moments with fans that, they can watch back as well.
yeah, I agree. I don't know whether you saw we had Blair McNally on a few weeks
Yeah.
ago. Done some brilliant stuff with the ultras and all around the place, and he was telling me some incredible stories about Scandinavia. He's actually with one of my colleagues today in Madrid, Rod, and they're going to do some stuff at Madrid tonight, which should be
Oh,
pretty
wow.
cool
Yeah.
to see. Yeah, yeah. As a creator, what have you seen? You think that, or what have you learnt really about what really makes fans feel valued and represented in content?
Because as a product, they want to see what football really is about, and it's that passion and that escapism, a football match, and yeah, just absolutely everything is involved. Like obviously, I've touched on the Premier League product. I think you're just a number. I've covered a couple of Premier League games. Compare it to the EFL and the National League, and that comparison is so different. I just feel like I'm a number. Fans don't want to feel like that. They want to feel part of the club and feel special. And because at the end of the day, they're spending their hard-earned money and they're going to work to go
Yeah,
and spend the money, whether it be tickets, away days, which it's not cheap these days, and obviously food in the ground and pints and whatnot, and the replica shirts. Obviously, families are wanting, obviously, kids are wanting shirts and whatnot. And I think it's just to feel special that that club appreciates you, and not just like you're a number. Like, just give me your money and that's it. Fans want to feel special. I know I do, and some clubs are really good at it, and some clubs I think need improvement in it.
yeah, I'd agree that. I think we didn't even talk about train fares, right? That's one of the most
Yeah,
ridiculous in the UK at the minute. It's
yeah.
you go from north to south or the other way around on a Saturday, and it's going to be a pretty expensive day out. That's for sure. How do you personally balance I guess, telling honest stories about football culture while you respect the kind of tradition of the game? Because I think if we're football people, which we are, you respect that tradition and heritage. And I say to people all the time that football is all about heritage. And I think there's a fine balance between, sensationalized content and respecting that heritage. How do you go about doing that?
So I'll try my best to obviously research about a club and get their past and what makes a fan base so good, and I'll try my best to cover. Obviously, I've just touched on that. both sets of fans. I want to give them the equal chance. It's not just about one club, the own club that I'll go to a new ground or a ground that I've visited before. I want to give both sets of fans that opportunity, because obviously a video you have your picture of what way you want it to go potentially if it's a big home attendance and it's something that it means something to them, but it could then go down another avenue where you've not really touched on. So it's also about that where you cover bases where you want to give them both sets of fans that equal opportunity and learn about the clubs and what makes them special, because every club's got their story and their history and their past, and
Yeah,
every club's got a special set of supporters for various different reasons. And it's nice to speak to people. I think that's one amazing thing that I've done with this channel is I've made some amazing friends that I've talked to. Like I've covered a lot of Bradford City fans. I've been on trips to Ireland with one guy who's really good friends with, and that's what's amazing about it. You meet people that I would never ever talk to if I were just not
mm,
making content, because I'd just go to the game. Obviously, have a pint, get in the ground, get my food, watch my team, and then go on. But to make content, it forces me to come out of my comfort zone, and I've built up confidence now that I can just approach someone and just say, look, do you mind me interviewing you? I just want to talk about your team and learn about the club and what makes it special to you. And yeah, I've made some amazing friends, and that's what I can take away more than anything from this channel is the friendship I've made, and it's nice. It's absolutely brilliant.
yeah, no, I love that. So it's not even just had an impact on other people. It's you doing what you do is actually impacting on your life for the better because you've come out of your shell and got more
Yeah.
confidence and communicate better and all those kind of things. And you know now making a living out of doing what you love, which is massively important, right?
Yeah, 10 years ago, if you'd have asked me that I'd have stuck a camera in my face and started talking about football, I'd have just laughed at you because I'd just not a cat in hell's chance. But I'm glad that I did it, and I think coming up 3.5 years now, and the channel's grown, and like I say, I've struck up some amazing memories and friendships, and yeah, I'm so glad that I did it because yeah, it's made me a better person as well because I've got confidence.
Yeah, yeah, it's hugely important. You've shared one already about Oldham, but can you give us another example, maybe, of a time where you've thought, I've gone beyond just content and entertainment, and actually this is something a bit more meaningful?
So we'll go back to Bury FC, obviously a past club that obviously have had their financial issues. Now, obviously, we watched the Sky Sports news when they obviously folded as a club, seeing what it meant that obviously they're losing the football club. No football fan should lose the football club.
No.
Um, Football is for the football fans. So I then obviously followed their journey before I was vlogging, and then obviously when I started vlogging, we all know that Bury then reformed as I think Bury AFC at first, and then they formed into this club that's now Bury FC. So obviously their first game back at Gig Lane, I went and covered that. Spoke to a lot of people involved, and I didn't even fit like I was obviously filming the emotion, and I found myself not filming and just standing there just for 10 minutes and just seeing like the emotion and smiles on them fans' faces that they were back at the football club and back at the ground that they've had memories with. I spoke to the lady. I don't know if you remember. She was chained up to the lamppost.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I spoke to her, and obviously she told me a story about. I think it was her dad that was involved in the club and what it meant to her that she was back at the football club that she lived her life with loving, and yeah, just seeing them go through the turnstiles and seeing the faces just meant everything to me. And then I think it was a year on, I then documented their promotion. which was again unbelievable to get
Yeah,
promotion at Gig Lane and the emotion then. And yeah, I spoke to a dad and a son that first game at Gig Lane, and I then followed it up with another interview where yeah, he did just raw emotion, and that's what football is all about as a football fan. Just that emotion, because no other sport for me comes close to emotion with what you get to experience. You get the highs, you get the lows, but you will always support that club that you've grown up to love.
yeah. I think if anyone was in any doubt about the emotional roller coaster of football, you could have watched the AFCON final the other night and enjoyed the
Yeah,
last 5 or 10 minutes would have been enough to make you understand about that. How do you see the relationship evolving? Because I think it has to, and you touched on it a minute ago. Clubs are now working a bit more with content creators and influencers to engage with fans. How do you see those relationships evolving in the future to have people like yourself involved more and more at clubs?
you have noticed a swing where clubs are involving content creators and wanting them to showcase their football club, because fans are wanting that content and they know it's an
Yeah,
avenue that people are wanting to watch. Um, and I think I've sort of seen a swing on you look at Sky Sports, they're going down the avenue of getting creators on, which I like to see because a lot do talk a lot of sense, and they can see that they absolutely love the game that they're talking about and the club that they're talking about. So I think it's a massive opportunity for clubs to showcase it more and get content creators in more, and yeah, just like I say, showcase what's brilliant about their football club, because for me YouTube is now bigger than watching, because I watch YouTube whether it's football vlogs or just like travel. I love watching travel vlogs. If I'm going on holiday, I'll
yeah,
pick
yeah,
up and pick up these places that I want to go to, and that's YouTube is massive now. Whether it's making content on there or Instagram or TikToks, it's absolutely huge. So it'd be silly of clubs not to involve creators and yeah, showcase their football club.
yeah. And you need to engage with the next generation of fans as well, right?
Of course you do, yeah.
They're not sitting there watching boring shows anymore. They want to be entertained. They've got
Yeah.
everything at their fingertips on demand, right? So it's about producing the right kind of content for them. Talking about the next generation, and how do you think content creators like you are going to have to adapt to stay genuine and to stay aligned with those? I guess the next generation of fans.
So I'll give anyone the opportunity if they're a creator and contact me and want to be on my channel to push their channel, because I believe that I've I've had help and obviously been on channels before. I'd never not help someone, and I want them to feel what I felt making content. And I've had people that has said, "Oh, I'd love to make a channel. I'd love to do this and do that." I'm like, "Do it. Don't think about doing it. If you love the game that you love, pick up a camera and make content, because trust me, you'll not regret it and not look back, because you'll make memories and you'll see stuff that you'll always look back on, because like I say, making content, I'd probably not see stuff and experience stuff that I have done. So I'd always encourage people to make content and yeah, do what they want to do. Never think that people are gonna criticize you, and obviously if it's daunting that you're picking up a camera, you're always going to get criticism and
Or
them comments. It's part and parcel, unfortunately, but you'll always get the bad comments. The good comments will always far outweigh it. And yeah, making content, like I said, I'd encourage anyone, and I'd always help someone to make content and push them as much as I can.
yeah, 100%. But just to wrap up, when this journey's over and done with, let's say we've got another 30 plus years of content creation, and you look back and evaluate what you achieved with Around the Grounds, what do you hope it says that you captured about football fans and fandom in this particular era?
what I hope that people watch my content, which was I've always thought that just me loving football and what it means to me, like to showcase football. That's what I hope that I foresee. Obviously, you don't know what's going to happen along the line with content. Something else might come along, and content creation might be a thing of the past. But I just want people to look back and see that I enjoyed making content and I enjoyed the journey of meeting fans and talking to fans and making content for the hobby that I absolutely love to do, because I've said so many times on this that football is absolutely everything to me. You can cut me in football, just bleed out of me. It's just absolutely. I mean, I'm sat in a man cave full of shirts, and yeah, it's
Yeah.
absolutely everything to me.
Yeah, this isn't a TV studio. It's the office I dreamed of having when I was 12.
Yeah, yeah, that's it. Yeah, I remember I'm going down a retro avenue at the moment where I'm picking up loads of like retro jerseys, jackets, and I found myself buying like old Panini stickers and
Yeah,
Merlin
yeah.
stickers. And I got some Shoot magazine. I was talking on a video that, remember, we had the posters on the wall when we were kids, and my dad used to go absolutely bar me, like, stop getting blue tack on the walls. But this is just what I wanted in life. Just have
Yeah, yeah. I'm exact. I've still got, I think, it's 3 or 4 boxes of Shoot, Match, and Roy the Rovers magazines. That I mean, I'm 46 years old, right? What am I doing? I haven't looked at one of those in 30 years, maybe. But they just move whenever we move house. My missus is like, "Why have you still got them?" I'm like, they've got to come with me. They're part of who I am now, and it's your problem. When I'm dead and gone, that's a problem for you to have to root through and
yeah,
burn them if your conscience allows you to. But yeah, similar to you, I'm really fortunate. The last few years doing what I did for a living, I was given so many shirts and stuff like that, and people realised I was an avid shirt collector. So I've getting them from all over the world, but they are everywhere. And I toned down. You can probably see, my club is represented in the bottom corner there, but I toned it down a little bit once we started the channel, obviously. But prior to that, it was very red,
yeah,
should we say, in the
yeah.
background. Yeah, it's literally everywhere. So I completely understand that. And why not live the dream of that 12-year-old inside you, mate? Why not?
That's it, yeah. Yeah, it just takes you back, nostalgic feel, and takes me back to a kid. And I remember going to the news agents, getting them Merlin Premier League stickers, and just that feeling of just opening stickers. And I think that's what you want as a creator, like watching channels and obviously watching my videos. I want that feeling that I had when I'll go back and take me back to that moment. That's all I want in life. And then just, yeah, and just portray that I absolutely love the beautiful game of football.
Couldn't have ended that better. That's a proper nice soundbite for us, and maybe the thumbnail's been sorted by yourself there. I'll pass it on to the designers. Lee, this
Yeah,
has been a joy. When I come across football people like you, I could talk all day. Hopefully, when I'm next up visiting my dad up in Sheffield, we'll grab a drink or something. I can maybe get you along to the lane or something and shoot some content over there. Um,
yes,
Assuming you make it out of there safely, obviously.
yeah, yeah, yeah. As long as I get a Guinness, I'm fine, mate. I'll be all
We'll take care of. We've got friends there. We'll take care of you. No worries.
right.
Lee, this has been an absolute pleasure, my friend. I wish you all the best for the rest of the season and the channel in the future. And this has been FBT, and let's get engaged and look forward to seeing you again soon.
Appreciate you having me on, and yeah, I've really enjoyed talking about the beautiful game of football.